But Denver this time is saying they're going to send out the smaller residential plows for this snowstorm. They're going to make one pass on all the neighborhood streets, kind of scraping off a layer of snow.
Yeah, this is, of course, a change in course. This following drivers and cyclists and pedestrians, even babies and strollers, all complaining for weeks about what was left behind. And 9 News reporter Steve Steger is alive along one of those, well, skating rinks that we call the streets tonight. Steve, the city says this change of plans had nothing to do with all of the angry drivers.
Yeah, nope. They said any issues that they had with that last storm, they blamed them on meteorology. They thought that this was going to be up to 5 inches of snow. And by the time they realized that forecast was wrong, all of that snow was packed down, and hence all of this roadways that just look pretty rough. So the snow removal policy for the metro area has kind of always been wait for the sun to melt it, which a lot of people complain about, but it turns out there's a reason for it. Talked to a longtime transportation planner who tells me it all has to do with the brown cloud.
We are going to be ready to hit it when the snow gets here.
This time, Denver's got a different plan and more plows.
Tonight we're preparing to put our big plows out on the main streets and our small plows out on the residential streets.
These baby plows, standard city pickups with a plow attached, will make one swipe on neighborhood streets, while the big plows tackle the major roads.
They'll shave the top few inches of snow off the street. They will not bring the street to bare pavement.
Denver's residential plow program activated for the first time since that monster storm at the end of last year, after the city got an earful from drivers slipping and sliding, though they say this is not a response to that criticism.
We approach every storm the same way. We make our deployment strategy based on the forecast. We did that the last storm, and the forecast was wrong.
It's not the first time the region's snow removal plans have been criticized, but there's a reason why we wait for the sun.
The brown cloud used to be pretty bad.
Jim Charlier is a transportation planner working in the Front Range for years. He says the compounds cities used to put on the roads and the emissions from plows contributed to the brown cloud.
We needed to address that, and we'd sort of run out of our time to do that. Public Works departments sort of saw the potential to modify their snow management practices and save money.
He says climate change is now leading to different types of storms, which means it may be time to rethink how we manage snow.
This is what somebody riding a bus, wanting to use a bus, would be faced with.
He urges that we think of the whole system.
Should we really ramp up our street plowing to this extent that we plow every snowstorm or every, I don't know. Personally, I would say I'm not so sure we need to do that, but others may disagree. I think it's just a good issue for us to debate.
A fantastic issue, especially when you see roads like these. So as for those neighborhood plows, they're going to make one pass down the center of all these streets, going to kind of get not all the way to the pavement. There's still a little bit of room underneath those blades, and they don't carry deicer. They're going to run them in shifts with different employees who are used to driving trucks, but also some volunteers from the city, like city planners, who are going to run these trucks in residential areas. The city, by the way, has started using different deicer that's better for the environment. They also tend to sweep now after they put some of those chemicals down, just to try to keep those compounds out of the air and keep the brown cloud at bay, guys.
Well, we'll see what happens.
I know. We'll have to chat maybe tomorrow about 2006 and what Hickenlooper decided. It's a long story, but I think you're covering snow
looked
tomorrow.
a lot worse than this.
Okay, I think you're covering this tomorrow for us, Steve, so you can fill us in.
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there. It'll be a blast.
Good times had by all.